This week, the Damar Hamlin incident has really put a lot of things in perspective for many people. Where, thank God, Damar is doing well, but life is life can be taken from you at any point, and our time on this rock is extremely brief in the grand scheme of things, and it can be like that. And what matters in your time here is your relationships with your loved ones, your friends, your family, people who matter to you. At the end of the day, at your funeral, it doesn't matter if you drove 17 cars or your house had 18 toilets or how many zeros you have in the bank account. Hopefully the first number isn't a zero, but the trailing zeros, you know what I mean? That doesn't matter when they're putting you in the ground. What matters is the people who are there to see you off, onto the next world, where it's very easy to take people for granted. Even people that you love. And, people get busy, fully understand that. But like I said, life can be taken from you in an instant, and people need to know how you feel. And, part of it could be, like we said, everyone is busy. Everyone's out there grinding, hustling, and fully understand that. We only have so many hours in the day. Fully get that. Or, laziness. Sometimes it can be taking people for granted, especially people that you see every day. Right? And that could be rough. And maybe you weren't raised to show emotion. Like, we Minnesotans are certainly not known for being emoters. Like we're almost like British with stiff upper lip. It's like, that whole thing. Or it could be you just don't know how to articulate or emote how you feel about someone who's really important in your life. Right? And you could have family, friends, significant others that you would do anything for. Like, I'm talking about I love you to the moon and back, like I do my kids. Or you could have some friends like, hey, if you ever have to hide a body, like, I'm in, and we will never talk about it again. Right? And people need to know your level of commitment. Like, people need to know your level of love. Or it's just like, hey, I love you. Hey, I got your back. Like, hey, maybe we'll bury a body in the desert. I don't know. Like there's varying levels of love, but it is important to let people know how you feel. And do they know that you love them? Do they know that you always got their back? Especially when it comes to kids and their confidence, because if they grow up in a household where you're letting them know every day, it's like, hey, you are loved, you are appreciated generally, and you are respected. I say that to my kids every single day, except sometimes not the boy. He knows what he does. But they learn that, and then develop into adults, and then they're able to communicate how they feel to their loved ones and their kids, and it's a self-perpetuating cycle. And sometimes people just need to know that they're not alone. And the response that we got from the "You're Not Alone, It's Never Too Late" video was astonishing. And we put our email out there, and lots of people wrote in, and it was some really heavy stuff, man. And just hearing how some kind words from a stranger, I mean, some random nobody on the internet, affected some people. It's crazy. It is. And imagine what reassurance, like letting people know that you are loved, you are seen, you are appreciated. Just imagine how even more important that is from someone that is close to them. Like someone in their lives, like a family member, a loved one, a friend. So, life is short, and you never really know what someone else is going through. And it takes next to zero effort. I mean, so these damn things are connected to everyone in the world, right? And you can drop a text, you can do a phone call. Actually, don't do a phone call. I'm a millennial. No one answers phones anymore. But send a text, send an email, do something. Because these damn things get service everywhere in the world, except for like Antarctica, North Korea, and Yakima. That's really about it. If you're not in those places, there's really no excuse. And like I said, it can make all the difference in the world. Because, God forbid something happens to you and you get to the gates, or you get to whatever the next step is in your journey, and you leave this world and people don't know how you felt about them. And they never will. Or, God forbid, like I said, something happens to someone else, and they move on from this world and they don't know how you felt about them. It's just, yeah. Hold your loved ones close. Let them know that you love them. Let them know how you feel. and do it as often as possible.